I had a phrase come up repeatedly this week in several of my sessions, and this was really around relationship dynamics, where there is some elements of emotional codependency and enmeshment, just tension and feelings of not feeling respected, appreciated, and considered in the ways that we want to, and creating some very imbalanced relationship dynamics with the people that we love dearly. And when I talk about codependency, I really try to break down the stigmas and the stereotypes that people have around that, because there is a lot of misunderstanding of what that means, what those patterns look like. And I find that a lot of people, when they hear the word codependency, they think about this person is dependent on this other person. They can't take care of themselves. They're being fully supported by this other individual, right? And so somebody who has a lot of relational, emotional, enmeshment based codependency, where their sense of whether they feel safe, secure, valid, valued, loved is really heavily dependent on how they're being perceived or how they're showing up for the people that they love, those individuals are absolutely experiencing a grand level of codependency in their relationships. And they will be the first to say, I'm not experiencing codependency, because the nature of that emotional and meshed codependency, where your worth is being placed on somebody else's shoulders accidentally, those are people who may feel like this. I am always doing for other people, and nobody considers me back. I'm always overpouring and overgiving, and I always feel underappreciated and not respected. I end up functioning out of a lot of obligation and later feel resentful. And it's like I don't allow myself to have the permission that I need to consider my own self. And I am not the center of my own life, right? Like, to move into being in the inside circle of your own life. This is your life. That's not about being selfish. That's about being whole. That's about being whole. That's about having a secure attachment relationship inside of your sense of self, right? And if you don't feel that way, and if you feel, ooh, the very notion of stepping inside of the center of my life is not for me, that is selfish. I am not that way. Then you may be negatively affecting the people you love accidentally through these patterns that feel a little bit tense, a little bit push pull, a little bit that accidentally the other person that you're overgiving to is accumulating a sense of burden or responsibility, or just some kind of density that's happening, where we would rather have a more balanced energy where you receive the healing that you deserve, so that you don't have to feel like you're anxious, you're unloved, you're unworthy, something's not right, unless you're living your life for somebody else and doing for the people that you love, to the point that you're burnt out, you're exhausted, you end up accidentally building resentment that you wish you didn't have. And that even when we try to contain that resentment, it spins off, and these energetic shards from that shrapnel are hurting the people that we love and pushing them away from us, no matter how much we try to pour our love on top of them, right? So that dynamic has come up quite a lot in the last week. And the phrase that has repeated in some of my sessions is the movement from the notion of, I teach people to be considerate of me by being considerate of other people. Moving away from, I'm teaching other people to be considerate of me by being considerate of other people. Moving away from that and into, I teach other people to be considerate of me by being considerate of me. I teach other people to be considerate of me by me being considerate of me. Modeling, stepping into the center of your world. The way you treat yourself is how other people look to see that that is how you like to be treated. And that is empowerment, where you are not accidentally casting off unspoken expectations, imbalanced energy, and dynamics that end up feeling transactional rather than rich, deep, reciprocal, in a way that there is giving happening here. I'm giving, you're giving, and somehow it feels like nobody is taking. The type of balance from the wholeness of you having the healing into holding the truth of your worth and being able to show up for yourself and with yourself in a way that resonates and magnetizes the vibrations of unconditional love, where nobody's the giver and the other one's the taker, and then we just take turns with who's taking and who's giving. That's so transactional, right? But when you're in an unhealed energy where this emotional codependency is happening, that is underlying root cause from lack of emotional safety, lack of feeling like just being who we are is enough, not having to overcompensate for feeling like a burden to parents, right? When we heal those things and find a way to walk ourselves home, to live in a grounded wholeness that puts us at living our life, being in the center of your own life. The only person who should be in the very center of your own life is you. It's your life. It's your life. This is not about selfishness. This is about moving away from having the relationships you have with the people you love the most carry an energy that feels confusing or dense or push-pull and is not matching the unconditional love you feel for them, because the attachment-based dynamics are presenting in a way where the exchanges feel conditional, which is a mismatch from the soul and higher eternal truths, right? You move into that wholeness, and now it is not selfish. There is more capacity here for authentic, unconditionally loving, peaceful, grounded dynamics, where space is inviting, where space feels like emotional safety, sovereignty, and peace, rather than space equaling perceived distance and therefore threatening our nervous system into an activated state based on the attachment wound energy. This emotional codependency, what else do we want to say about how this shows up for people? It could be very simple things like the example Spirit will give to me is, oh, this person literally thought about their grocery list and this thing that they love, and then they're the only one in the house that loves this grocery list item, and so they don't get it because they're the only one who loves it. And so they're the one that does the grocery shopping. They're the one that plans, picks it up, orders it, all the things, whatever you want to say. And they're the ones who are not buying the things that they love, right? Because the priority is on, I'm going to spend the money in a way where I'm going to maximize that I'm getting the things that the other two people in my home love the most. And then I'm not getting this fruit, this vegetable, this item that I really love to eat because I'm the only one. And so if you're functioning from dynamics that look like that of, I'm not buying the grocery I love the most because I stock everything to make sure that it is what everybody else in my household loves the most. This is one tiny little example of some out of balance energy where we're not coming from secure attachment and living a life that is celebrating us, considering us, loving us. So when we have that dynamic playing out inside of our own relationship to self, where we are countless times dismissing and diminishing ourselves, it shows up that way around us. It shows up that way around us. And we can walk through life, through the day, through the week, through the year, feeling like I am not feeling well loved. I am feeling dismissed. I do so much for my family all the time, and they are never respecting me or considering me the way that I consider them. Breath, whew, that's heavy, right? And we can understand how when you live your life this way, this is what I mean by emotional codependency. Yeah. Somebody who is silently self-abandoning and acting in pattern of self-dismissal where something's off here, something's off. They're not seeing their own God spark energy inside of themselves, because if they were, then they would be getting the fruit they love the most at the grocery store this week. You deserve the fruit you love, even if you're the only one in your household who loves that particular fruit. Get that fruit, ma'am. Come on now. You deserve it. I laugh. It's not a joking matter how many of us function from these dynamics where, for some reason, we have been pushed to the outside perimeters of our own existence. Yeah. And then we feel like something's not right here, and you're right, something's not right here. And somehow you're the only one that can fix that. You're the only one that, excuse me, not fix. You're the only one who can recognize that, witness it, walk yourself home, obviously with therapeutic support, with a healer who can help you do that, with spiritual support, right? So I don't mean alone. I mean your partner, your sister, your daughter, your son, the people in your family who seem to be more the center of your own life than you are, because you're just circling the perimeter and doing laps and laps and laps around everyone else who is sitting in the center of your own life. They can't make that change for you. That is an inward journey. They'll adjust, absolutely, and balance will benefit everyone. You all deserve to have that balance, because I don't think it feels good for somebody to be in the center of a life where they're not supposed to be. It might look good from the outside, like, oh, this person is benefiting. Look at all of these ways that they're, being poured into. But the emotional imbalance, the energetic imbalance, the spiritual imbalance will be tying them up in a way that they are pulled outside of the center of their own being, their own experience, their own life, because they're sitting in the center of yours, and they can't really do both at the same time. And we don't want to put that burden on somebody else to live for us. We want to live our life. We want them to live their life. And being in the center of your own world does not threaten your sense of connection. It moves you closer into experiencing the unconditional love that's already there. That's already there, right? We just need to drop all the survival wounds, all the control based ways that we try to ascertain and secure love. That's conditions. We're trying to secure the sense of love. We're trying to hold on to the connection. That's conditional love. We're doing that out of attachment wounds and the insecurity we grew up in, right? The trauma that has produced the sense of needing to overperform and to run laps on the perimeter of our own life in order to make sure that we don't lose something that can only be experienced, can only be truly found when you journey home to that secure attachment energy with yourself. It's interesting how it creates such an opposite effect of most of the time the way the survival wound energy of fear is coaching us to continue running those laps around the outside of our life. That is the very energy that is preventing us from experiencing what inherently belongs to us, what we deserve, and what will naturally fall into place as you come into that balanced internal wholeness where you realize your worth and the things that made you feel uncomfortable to step inside of the center of your own life can melt away. And when that fog lifts, the peace and the depth and the richness of the unconditional love that's been waiting for you at the center of your life all along. This is what I want for everyone.